The typical American male spends 3,000 hours of his life shaving. That's 125 days. He averages 200 to 400 swipes each shave to cut 7,000 to 12,000 beard hairs on his face. Women, on the other hand, take longer strokes and are more careless with shaving.
Women actually think, from our psychographic studies, the longer you use a blade, the safer it is.
I think that.
It's not true.
Shaving for Gillette is big business and a science that dates back to the early 1900s, when King C. Gillette came up with the idea of a disposable razor blade. Not interested in making electric razors, in the 1970s they introduced the twin blade, featured in this vintage commercial.
When the first blade shaves a whisker, it lifts it out from the face. And before it all snaps back, the second blade can shave it again, closer.
At Gillette's research lab in England, researchers also use 3D computer modeling to compile and analyze data, looking for new ways to cut hair closer without cutting skin.
We use calipers to pull one hair out of the follicle, and we measure how the skin reacts, how long it takes for the hair to come out of the follicle before pain is registered. Right now, the best material to use to shave is blade steel. There's nothing better today. Who's to say there won't be something better tomorrow?
Always striving for that perfect shave, some Gillette employees wait to shave till they get to work to test new products in the company's shave test room. And they're off.
We test gels and shave creams and razors. Any products that we make, we test.
Right now, I think the right side is a little closer.
Some days you have bad shaves that you have to tell them that this is not a good product.
Exactly. There'll be drag on there. You might even cut yourself.
Today I'm getting a fantastic shave. But I'll rate this blade excellent. Excellent glide. No cuts.
They wouldn't tell us anything about the new products they're testing. That's the company's secret in this cutthroat business of creating the perfect shave. Ann Kellen, CNN, Boston, Massachusetts.
Made in the USA may not mean that exactly if the Federal Trade Commission has its way. The FTC wants to change requirements for the label, so only 75% of a product needs to be made domestically. Currently, it requires 98% of every product with a Made in the USA label to be made with domestic labor and materials. The FTC said the changing global economy makes the move necessary. A record-breaking day on Wall Street Tuesday. For the second day running, the Dow Industrial Average gained almost 11 points, closing at 72.25, setting the Dow's 17th high for the year. We're back in a moment.
This is the CNN Headline News Network.
Today, it takes big bucks to get through college. But one of the fastest ways through college is with the Army National Guard. You can serve in the Guard and complete 4 years of college at the same time. Plus, you'll get tuition assistance, the Montgomery GI Bill, and an extra paycheck that'll help with books, room, board, and more. In the Guard, you'll serve 1 weekend a month and 2 weeks a year, and you'll find the kind of real-world training and adventure that's hard to find on campus. If you want to get through college quickly and serve your country and community, you can. Call 1-800-GO-GUARD.
We know Albuquerque's got a water challenge. Everyone is talking about it. Talking up a storm. We're all looking for ways to save. So please, don't water when windy. One of our state's most active streams is in Albuquerque. It's called Runoff. If you surfed it all the way, you'd end up in the river, where you can kiss that pure, clean water. Goodbye.
Reduce your use. Save our water for Albuquerque's future.
Hey, you're way too close to this truck. The driver probably doesn't even know you're back here. If he brakes suddenly, where are you going to go? There's a no zone behind big trucks. It's huge blind spots. If you can't see his side view mirrors, it's a pretty safe bet he can't see you. That's right. This is one place you really wouldn't want to be caught dead. Drive smart. Don't hang out in the no zone.
Steve Wrigley, CNN Headline Sports. The Utah Jazz used the home court and the no call to take a 2-0 lead over the LA Lakers after a 103-101 win. Karl Malone's 31 led him. Nick Van Exel thought he was fouled on the shot at the win. You make the call. The Chicago Bulls rebounded from the questionable ejection of Dennis Rodman to take game 1 of their playoff with Atlanta. Jordan's 34 led him. Pepin's 29 included the go-ahead. 197 the final.
They played well down the stretch, and we seemed to be totally out of rhythm and found ways to patch up holes that were leaking.
The New York Rangers lead the New Jersey Devils 2-1 after a 3-2 win. Gretzky started it. Asa Tikkanen notched the other 2. The Devils were bedeviled for the second straight game by a disallowed goal. Detroit's up 3-0 on Anaheim after a 5-3 win. Vyacheslav Kozlov with numbers 4 and 5 and an assist. John Smoltz called former teammate Ron Gant a brave killer after Gant's 2-run shot in the 8th of the St. Louis Cardinals' 4-3 win over Atlanta. Gant said that when he sees that uniform, he wants to beat him. Pittsburgh shut out Florida. Philadelphia over Houston. Cincinnati shaded L.A. Chicago doubled San Diego. Montreal walloped San Francisco. Cal says the idea is to relax when the bases are full. Repkin ripped his 6th career grand slam, and the O's 8-4 win over Anaheim. Cleveland topped Texas. Kansas City beat Boston. Toronto topped Detroit. The Yanks cranked out 3 in their win. Oakland mustered the victory in Milwaukee. Seattle rallied to beat Chicago. Steve Wrigley, CNN Headline Sports.
This is the CNN Headline News Network.
This is Howard Morgan with the forecast for Wednesday, the 7th of May. Now, posted on the maps will be Wednesday morning's lows and Wednesday afternoon's highs. It will be partly sunny most areas, more clouds though in north and east with a chance of thunderstorms in that area. A slight chance of thunderstorms in the Four Corners, otherwise partly sunny, 70s for highs there. Much the same in northwestern New Mexico, mostly upper 70s. Quite a bit warmer, partly sunny to mostly sunny, 80s and mid-90s south and west. Slight chance of thunderstorms in the mountains south and east, mid to 90s for afternoon highs, and 70s and 80s with a chance of thunderstorms north and east. A slight chance of mountain thunderstorms north central area, partly sunny, 70s and 80s there, low 80s to mid 80s for the Rio Grande Valley, partly cloudy and to partly sunny for the metro area as well, low 80s for afternoon highs, a warm and a breezy day. And for Albuquerque itself, it will be partly sunny. It'll be a warm day, a little breezy at times, with an afternoon high reaching the low 80s to 83 degrees.
The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame's honoring the sounds of the 70s. Tuesday night, George Clinton was honored for his hits with Parliament Funkadelic. Michael Jackson and his brothers were inducted as well. The Bee Gees, Joni Mitchell, and Crosby, Stills, and Nash were also honored. For the first time in its 12-year history, the ceremony was held in Cleveland. That's the site of the museum. With more news from the world of entertainment, now here's our Hollywood Report.
This is Dennis Michael with the Hollywood Minute. When the Enterprise makes its next voyage, Captain Picard will be in command as usual. TV Guide reports actor Patrick Stewart is the first cast member to sign up for the 9th Star Trek movie. The brass at Starfleet expect to see the film in theaters November 1998. Independence Day is now the #2 film of all time. The blockbuster's take overseas has topped the $500 million mark, according to the Hollywood Reporter trade paper, which makes it second only to Spielberg's colossus, Jurassic Park. This is Dennis Michael with the Hollywood Minute.
Girls are becoming more prominent on primetime TV with a slew of shows featuring young females in leading roles. Lauren Hunter reports.
It's magic, on screen and off, for Sabrina the Teenage Witch. The show is a ratings powerhouse for ABC and defies the notion that shows with young female leads can't hold their own.
Boys would not watch girls that were leads. The girls would watch boys that were leads, and boys would watch boys, but boys wouldn't watch girls. And we proved that wrong with Clarissa, and Sabrina just, pushed that another step further.
And Sabrina's not alone. Other shows with teenage girls as leads include Clueless, Daria, Sister Sister, The Secret World of Alex Mack, and Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Everybody remembers that time in their life when you're 16 and 17 and everything is changing around you and you just don't feel like you fit in.
It's reality, basically. It's reality. It's what teenagers do.
That's according to Brandy, star of UPN's Moesha. It's a sentiment echoed by Marnie Patterson, guesting here on NBC's Saved by the Bell. The 17-year-old actress is usually seen on Something So Right.
All of the shows right now about teenagers are positive. So I think that's really, really important because, I mean, I know a lot of kids watch TV, and by what they see, that's how they pattern their own life.
But is TV's picture of girls all it could be?
People are portrayed as perfect, but the wrong kind of perfect. It's more on being perfect look-wise and popularity-wise and less on the more important things in life.
The media's representation of girls was the topic at a recent conference in LA sponsored by the advocacy group Children Now.
There's no question that we have been sending messages to girls for years that if you don't look a certain way, if you don't act a certain way, if you don't think a certain way, you won't be popular, and therefore you won't be like the women you see on television.
One possible solution was suggested by keynote speaker Gina Davis.
Let's get rid of the token female. Let's create a wealth of characters, girls and women that cover the spectrum. Not just heroes, not perfect, virtuous role models, but real people, dimensional, complicated, flawed, strong and weak, good and bad. Let them try and succeed. Let them try and fail, but let them try.
If this season's young female TV stars are any indication, those efforts just might succeed. Lauren Hunter, CNN Entertainment News, Hollywood.
Join us in 2 minutes for the news of the day. I'm David Goodman, you're with CNN Headline News. We leave you in Mexico City, where President and Mrs. Clinton joined Mexican President Ernesto Zedillo to soak up some culture.
This is the CNN Headline News Network.
Hi, I'm Ava Harvey here at Malloy Dodge in Albuquerque, where we're doing some spring cleaning on conversion vans. Hey, vacation season's just around the corner, so hurry in now for some pre-season specials. Our big family-size custom conversions by VanWorks are all top of the line, and the price, well, thanks to our volume selling, this 97 conversion is marked down to only $18,988. So see, volume selling, that's the key, and that's Malloy Dodge.
Turn up the volume. It's Classical Thunder, the most explosive collection of music you've ever heard. Get Classical Thunder on 2 cassettes for just $14.99 or 2 compact discs for $16.99. Then you can preview other classical favorites albums. Satisfaction guaranteed. Classical Thunder. Call now.
To order Classical Thunder, call 1-800-257-1333 or send $14.99 for 2 cassettes or $16.99 for 2 CDs, plus $3.50 shipping to the address on your screen.
CNN Headline News. I'm Gordon Graham. More than a month after 39 members of the Heaven's Gate cult committed mass suicide at a mansion near San Diego, 2 former members have tried to join them in a hotel room just miles away. One man was successful. The other man survived and is hospitalized in serious condition. Police say they found purple shrouds on the floor and a plastic bag over the head of the man who died. There were other similarities to the mass suicide in March, including videotaped farewell statements from both men. Here's an excerpt from the one who survived.
I don't know that I'm going to catch the bus this time. I'm taking a gamble by leaving so much later than the others have left. But I'm prepared to take that gamble and would rather gamble on missing the bus this time than to stay here on this planet and know that I would be committing literal suicide with my soul. I cannot stay, I cannot have my allegiance to this world. I have to have my allegiance to the next level. I'm a part of them. Whether I deserve it or not, I'm a part of them. Okay, that's about all I have to say. Bye.
As far as the money, yes, we did find a $5 bill and 75 cents in coinage on both the people. They were wearing black and/or blue Nike shoes, new. There was one bottle of vodka in the room, one bottle of whiskey. The note to the family member did say that they were going to commit suicide in the same way as the other cult members at Heaven's Gate.
Police say the man who killed himself Tuesday was married to one of the Heaven's Gate cult members who died in the mass suicide in Rancho Santa Fe, California. The cult members believed in death they would be taken to a higher spiritual plane aboard a spaceship that they thought was trailing the comet Hale-Bopp. Attorneys for Army Staff Sergeant Delmar Simpson are preparing to appeal a jury's decision sentencing him to 25 years in prison. Simpson was convicted last week of raping 6 trainees at the Aberdeen Proving Ground in Maryland. Simpson admits to having sex with the women, but insists it was consensual. And the defense has suggested racial bias played a role. The 11 other Army staff members at the base who have been charged with sexual abuse and misconduct are black. In Winston-Salem, North Carolina, a jury has sentenced Thomas Jones to life in prison without parole for killing 2 college students while driving under the influence of drugs and alcohol. Jurors rejected the prosecutor's request for the death penalty. This apparently is the first time in the United States prosecutors have pushed for the death penalty in a driving while impaired case. Police in Texas are scaling back the search for a lone militant separatist in the rugged Davis Mountains. Authorities expect thirst, hunger, and wild animals to flush him out. He's believed to be the only member of the Republic of Texas faction still at large. One of his comrades was killed Monday in a shootout with police. The sister of Oklahoma City bombing suspect Timothy McVeigh visited him Tuesday in his jail cell. The meeting in Denver, Colorado occurred just hours after she finished testifying against him. Tony Clark has more.
Jennifer McVeigh exchanged smiles and a morning hello with her brother. Then, in testimony punctuated by occasional giggles, she described a letter she got from him before the Oklahoma City bombing. It said, "Something big is going to happen in the month of the bull." She said that referred to the astrological month beginning April 20th, the day after the bombing. McVeigh also mentioned another letter she got from her brother in April 1995. It told her, in case of an alert, to contact Mike or Lori Fortier. Lori, the letter said, is trustworthy.
She definitely buttressed, corroborated enough of what Lori Fortier had to say to get over some of the stigma of what a drug-taking, lying, miserable scum like Lori Fortier must have seemed to the jurors.
Under cross-examination, McVeigh wiped tears from her eyes as she described FBI tactics to get her to cooperate. She said agents had a large poster with her picture on it, trying to force her to get information from her brother, and told her she could face the death penalty if she were involved in the bombing. As for her brother, she said, "They told me he was guilty and he was going to fry."
Both sides basically used this witness to put on an easel, in a microcosm, their theory of the case, all at once in one given morning.
No sooner had Jennifer McVeigh left the stand than jurors were again reminded of the terror of the bombing. Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms agent Luke Franey was in the ATF's 9th floor office when the bomb went off. He told the jury, "I heard a loud bang. I heard the girls scream, and then I heard a loud rumbling. I could hear people yelling and screaming." He said he could walk 3 to 4 steps. "I could see the drop-off all the way down." An hour and a half after the bombing, there was another bomb scare. Still trapped on the 9th floor, Franey said it was like someone grabbing into your heart and squishing it. Franny climbed out onto the 9th floor ledge and was able to work his way to the stairs and safety. Much of the rest of the testimony Tuesday dealt with phone records which prosecutors allege linked Timothy McVeigh to the rental of the Ryder truck used in the bombing. Tony Clark, CNN, Denver.
David Goodnow will return after a look at the national weather forecast, and still ahead, why you're more likely to catch cold in a woman's bathroom than in a man's.
I'm Kara McGinnis with a look at your CNN headline news weather. High temperatures Wednesday. Looks nice across the central U.S., mostly 70s and 80s. Dallas expecting 82 degrees, but in Phoenix, it'll be a bit gusty there. Look for 100 degrees again. Phoenix normally averages about 89 days where the temperature is at or above 100 degrees. Los Angeles, 86. Expect showers in Saskatoon. Montreal, mostly cloudy skies and breezy conditions in Boston and New York. The frontal system sweeps away in its wake the cooler weather conditions, but thunderstorms pretty much from the prairie provinces of Canada down towards Missouri and Kansas, where there could be 1 or 2 inches of rainfall with the afternoon strong thunderstorms. I'm Kara McGinnis. That's a look at your CNN headline news weather.
Thanks, Karen. Declaring our histories and our destinies are forever joined, President Clinton visited Mexican President Ernesto Zedillo on Tuesday. Mr. Clinton said mutual respect is the basis of U.S.-Mexican relations. The leader signed an immigration document pledging new checkpoints and bridges along the 2,000-mile U.S.-Mexican border. And they signed a document called a Declaration of Alliance, aimed at stemming the flow of illegal drugs. Mr. Clinton placed a wreath at the Child Heroes Monument in Mexico City Tuesday. It's one of Mexico's most revered sites. It honors cadets killed in 1847 as the U.S. Army conquered Mexico City. All signs are pointing to a quick confirmation of CIA Director nominee George Tenet. His hearing before the Senate resumes on Wednesday afternoon. Tenet said the CIA must now combat terrorism, weapons proliferation, and drug trafficking rather than the old Cold War threats. President Clinton's previous nominee, Anthony Lake, withdrew 2 months ago after contentious confirmation hearings. Tenet has served as acting director of the CIA since John Deutsch left in December. It appears that detention of Whitewater figure Susan McDougal in a Los Angeles County jail will not result in the May 22nd court date for Special Prosecutor Kenneth Starr. McDougal is being held in civil contempt of court charges for refusing to testify before a Whitewater grand jury. Her lawyer wants to question Starr about her detention, saying McDougal is being held with violent criminals to pressure her into talking. Starr was subpoenaed Monday but failed to appear in court Tuesday and was ordered to show up May 22nd or face arrest. His office now said he's agreed to sign papers that will make a court appearance unnecessary. The American Nurses Association is accusing some hospitals of being more concerned with profits than patients. The group said some hospitals are cutting registered nurses and replacing them with unlicensed aides to save money. It's supporting legislation that would make hospitals disclose its staffing information.
RNs do understand the need to cut costs and increase efficiencies. But what we do not understand is why hospitals insist on letting poorly trained, uneducated workers care for today's seriously ill, more seriously ill than ever before, moving in the hospital faster than before and out of the hospital in faster ways. And out of this, that if we used more RNs, we could save money for those institutions.
The president of the American Organization of Nurse Executives said hospitals still provide quality care for patients. The American Society of Microbiology is going from the research lab to the restroom. It studied men's and women's public bathrooms and found one gender has more germs. Elizabeth Cohen explains.
Men's and women's restrooms pretty much look the same, except, of course, one has women, the other has men, and the feet point in opposite directions. But when researchers took a close look, a very close look, they found a huge difference.
We were looking at how frequently do you find germs potentially could make you ill in public restrooms. And what we found is that you're twice as more often to encounter those types of germs in women's restrooms.
That's right. Women's restrooms were twice as likely to have germs on the floor, the toilet seat, and the sinks.
Now, the strange thing is that the researchers found that men are actually messier in the bathroom. They leave behind paper towels more often. The men's room usually smells worse than the women's room. So if that's true, then why is it that there are more germs in ladies' rooms?
There There are two reasons. One, women tend to bring children into the bathroom more often, and children tend to bring in germs.
They bring their fingers to their nose or mouth once every 3 minutes.
Plus, women's restrooms just get more traffic than men's. Women use the bathroom more often and stay longer. So Gerba's advice?
Rub together.
Wash and dry your hands carefully, and although it may sound strange, choose a bathroom with the right number of stalls.
You really want to pick bathrooms, or public restrooms at least, with 2 to 4 stalls, because if they only have 1 stall, there tends to be more bacteria that could potentially make you ill. And if you have 5 or more, the number goes up again, probably because of heavy use.
By the way, Gerba looked at restrooms in many places, and in general, the cleanest were in hospitals and fast food restaurants. He has his own solution to the dirty restroom problem.
This study is keeping me out of women's restrooms forever.
Of course, that's not an option for many of us. Elizabeth Cohen, CNN, Atlanta.
If you hate getting flu shots soon, you may have an alternative way to protect yourself against that disease. Researchers say a nasal spray flu vaccine may be the way of the future. They say a squirt up the nose is as effective as a shot, and because it's relatively painless, it may encourage millions to get vaccinated every year. Game 3 of the chess match between former world champion Garry Kasparov and an IBM supercomputer ended in a draw on Tuesday. The matchup is now tied at 1 win each. Experts are still analyzing Sunday's game, in which Kasparov resigned, giving Deep Blue the victory. Chess grandmasters say he overlooked a series of moves which could have forced a draw. Coming up next in consumer news, for 2 weeks, travelers can expect longer delays in some airline flights. We'll explain why, and then a bit later we'll shed some new light on the world of lighting.
A storm is on the rampage, and you're in its path. How do you know?